Bitcoin Pod. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis as we do here each and every day. Also breaking news, Mr. 100 strikes again, snapping up another 500 biddies. That's right. Wild. Also, Max Kaiser announces he's going to be working full-time, bringing a major Hollywood studio to El Salvador. What do you think should be the name of this studio? I say Bitcoin Studio. Let's go. We'll also be discussing Grayscale spot Bitcoin ETF halves before the Bitcoin halving. That's right. And we do have a Bitcoin halving occurring within the next potentially 48 hours. Also, crypto market underestimates the long-term impact of the Bitcoin halving. I'll be breaking this down for you, as well as macro guru Lynn Alden says Bitcoin hitting six figures wouldn't be surprising amid this rising liquidity. I'll be breaking down her timeline. And speaking of $100,000 biddy, investor Nick Carter also sees Bitcoin undeniably soaring to 100,000 per coin and says the debt crisis will drive people to BTC. We're also going to be discussing Bitcoin will reach over $1 million, no doubt, according to Animoca founder at the WebSummit in Rio. I'll be breaking this down for you. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, fam, in today's show. Welcome, everyone just joining the stream. Shout out to everyone in the live chat. It's a beautiful Wednesday, Bitcoin halving looming. It's going to occur Friday or Saturday. That means 2 to 3 days out. If you're pretty ecstatic for that, let me know. Shout out Don George. He says, Fed Chairman Jay Powell, lack of further progress for the year of inflation. Amazing how these simple words can bring Bitcoin down. It is mind-boggling, isn't it? Shout out Knoxville. Welcome, James. Shout out OG Backroad Crypto Bootleg. What it do? Shout out to Peter. I have done years of research. The two most undervalued assets today on Earth, Bitcoin and silver, and Bitcoin is real money. Well said there, Peter. And shout out to Russia. Thanks for tuning in. Bitcoin Film Studios. I dig it. I think Bitcoin should be a part of the name. What do you guys say? Looking and sounding like a million BTC. There we go. Looks like we down. Yeah. Bitcoin reacting to the Fed chairman, apparently. Bitcoin is on sale. This is a big gift. Preach. Pre-halving. Advantage. Take advantage of it. Opportunity. Joe, yo, big ups, JV. Shout out to Proof. Do you think the weekend will be a massive change? Massive? I don't think so. Hello from Bangkok. Shout out Jerry Reynolds. What up, BS? What up, Crypto Fam? Shout out Mankey. How many more leveraged Bitcoin traders are going to get vaporized before the halving? BlackRock says, thank you. Good question there. Bill Graper, Coinbase is the most reputable exchange, even is far from the biggest. They want to protect to become the number one, says Silas. Greetings from Slovenia. Shout out Slovenia. Mr. Balls or Balis, welcome. Cheers from Australia. Shout out Veres and Numeris. Good morning, JV. I am hoping for a big rise with the FOMO. Right on, relaxing. Shout out DNA Noonan and all the members of the channel here. Hey, Huddle Gang. JV, I'm going to work making an onion ring for A&W in Million Bay Yacht Club. Going to stack me $200. Dip long. Love your show, brother. Shout out DNA. I appreciate it as well. Hofi Check checking in. What up, Hokey Wolf? What do you think of the wrap staked ETH? I don't know much about it. I prefer the real thing versus the wrapped, personally, for anything, obviously, including Bitcoin, ETH, whatever. Hey, JV, great work. Thank you, Pilot, and welcome, Jib. What did the Fed chairman say? Apparently nothing good. JV, you're smooching that kombucha in the thumbnail image? I sure am. Today, maybe for tomorrow's thumbnail. If you haven't noticed, the thumbnails are always a day behind. So before I do the live show, I hit the record button and I record a few things I can use as screenshots for the following day. So maybe tomorrow's episode will have some coconut water in there. I don't know. No kombucha for today. But yeah, I was sipping it down yesterday for sure. Buying back at 60 G's, baby. Speaking of 60 G's.
60 G's, baby! It's red panty night when you sign to find me, yeah? Back at home with your wife. It's a celebration.
It's a celebration to buy the biddies at this price. Pump it up, brother. Pump it up. Speaking of pumping it up, that's what we're going to do.
Pump it up.
Jennifer is in the building. Now the party can begin. James Nelson representing Hudson, Florida. Go Cobras. Let's go. Just purchased more Bitcoin 30 minutes ago. Also just purchased more MicroStrategy. Well done. Max Kaiser just made a tweet a few minutes ago as well. He just purchased some more MicroStrategy. Watching from way up north in Canada. That's what's up. Yellowknife, Canada. It's cold here, but the Bitcoin is keeping me warm. Amen to that. Bye, bye, bye. Shout out Michael Bout. It looks like a Canadian flag. Shout out Canada. This is live and interactive, so do let me know where you're tuned in from, fam. Blessings from Phoenix. Cheers, Phoenix. Don't drink it too fast. It'll cough it up all over the lens. Precisely. Ulmerton Road. There we go. Pinellas County representing. Huddle, buckle up, and keep your arms and legs inside the ride. Tell them, Mark. Let's go.
Pump, 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 pump it up. Pump, pump, pump it up.
Pump it up if you came and went long. When the dip came, you just ate like King Kong. I think today is capitulation and Bitcoin selling. Cecilis, word up. Well, anyways, fam, let's get this show on the road, shall we? If you're new to the channel, important, subscribe. Help support the movement, the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. It's much appreciated. Also, be sure to smash that thumbs up. It helps out tremendously with the YouTube algo. This is pod episode number 1612. I'm your fearless host, JV, and today is April 17th, 2024. Bitcoin reacted. The Fed Chairman Jay Powell's speech and didn't react so well. We're down 2,500 on the day. Will 60,000 hold as support? We shall soon see. And let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. Give me 1 second to pull it up. Checking out Coin 360. Let's see. Yeah, the entire crypto market bleeding. Bitcoin down, trading just at 60,500. We have Ether under 3,000. Solana at 129 bucks, and XRP back down to 48 cents. And checking out cryptomarketcap.com, we're sitting on a 2.21 trillion market cap with 90 billion of volume for the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance 53.9%, with Ether dominance 60%. Even. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past 24 hours, we got BitGet token up 10%, Sue up 6.4%, and Say up 3.4%. Below that, very modest gains as the majority of the market is correcting and in the red. Now, which altcoins, family, are you guys most bullish on and believe in the most for this particular bull? Holla. And checking out the crypto bubbles to get more of a visual perspective on the daily. Safe to say 95% of the overall market correcting and in the red as the bloodshed continues. And looking on the monthly, even more bloodshed, substantial corrections across the board. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're currently rated a 67, which is in greed. Yesterday, 65. Last week, a 78. And last month, a 77 in extreme greed. Now, this one gets me pretty excited to look at. Bitcoin halving countdown, 2 days and 3 hours. That means it's going to happen at this current time, April 19th, which would be this Friday at roughly, it was at 8:30 p.m.-ish, around that time. And it's going to occur at block height, 840,000. We're currently on block height, 839,656, meaning we're less than roughly 350 blocks away from the most significant event, which occurs in the crypto sphere only every 4 years. Where do you think the Bitcoin price will likely be within the next couple of days at around the time of the halving? Holla, let me know. And you can see here the current Bitcoin market cap is sitting at 1.19 trillion, and you can currently trade $1 for 1,654 Satoshis. Let's freaking go. And let me recheck the chat here. Welcome everyone just joining us. Bill Graper, down, buy more. There you go. Is Bitcoin going to zero? I'm asking this for a friend. Well, here's the deal. If it's not going to zero, it's going to a million. And we all know it's not going to zero. Just saying. Bitcoin to 100,000. We're so early in the bull market. The black swan was inflation back again. Really. God is with you and your husband. Love you both. Cheers, Peter. Shout out to Jennifer and her husband. Friday, yes, let's get it. Keep up the Bitcoin faith. Hoping for a Saturday halving. 420 halving, like I've been saying, would be pretty lit. How about that Dubai crazy weather? Yeah, they acquired more rain in one day than it would take in an entire year. An entire year's worth of rain in one day. And if you guys saw, a lot of those videos were going viral on TikTok and X and social media. I saw quite a few of them. I actually have a friend in Dubai. Ironic enough, there's a big crypto event this week in Dubai, but you see people's cars just flooded, right? Craziness. All that 1 million predictions are foolish. Who's the fool when we hit $1 million though, bro? Bitcoin 500,000 by next spring. send it. Do Bitcoin fall after the halving? How much? Yeah, there's typically pre-halving dumps and post-halving dumps. There's going to be extreme volatility. How much exactly is nothing more than speculation, but we do know it's going to be extremely volatile for sure. Mo Ken, Bitcoin will go, go, go. Go Biddies, South Florida Tools, welcome. Hey, JV, watching from Cornwall, England. Shout out Fairgrounds. JV, did you say DCA? Damn right. Dollar cost average to the moon, family. To the wheels fall off. Bitcoin to $1 billion by 2035. That sounds good. Why not? In fact, there is already $1 billion prediction from Jurien Timmer from Fidelity, the $4.5 trillion asset manager. He predicted $1 billion by 2038. So you're right in alignment. Shout out Zero. It's been a minute, fam. How you been? I appreciate you gifting a membership of the channel. Congratulations, Menendez. You've just been hooked up on behalf of Zero. Relaxing, welcome. Just took a second to listen to the chairman of the Fed. Nothing major. I heard as I scroll through. Thanks for the update. Full faith in the biddies. What goes down goes up. And we stay there. 40,000 biddy. Used to be foolish too. Exactamundo. Remember when Bitcoin was $1? How many people say, well, you sell now because you're lucky it's at $1. It'll never go to $10. Hits $10. Well, it'll never go to 100. Hits 100. It'll never go to 1,000. Goes to 1,000. It never hit 10. It'll never go to 10,000. Hits 10,000. It'll never go to 50,000. Hits 50,000. And now people saying it can never go to 1 million. Do you know that a 20x from 50,000 is 1 million? So anyone realistically believing that Bitcoin can't do another 20x from here, in my mind, is foolish. Yeah, if you understand Bitcoin, you understand what I'm saying. Shout out Zero. Just gifted 5 more memberships. That's 6 memberships gifted on behalf of Zero, the hero. Mark, you've been hooked up. Anonymous, Ghana, Shekhar, Mo Ken, and unidentified him. You've all been blessed with the MicroStrategy membership of the channel. Let's discuss these memberships. When you become a member, your name becomes green, right? You get recognition here in the live chat. Now, also you get that sexy badge next to your name. And every month that badge, which is currently a star, will change colors to show your dedication to the channel. So we appreciate all the members here. We have hundreds of members, greatly appreciated. We gift a lot of memberships, clearly. And whoa, just became a member of the Huddle Gang for 4 months. This guy is on fire. Shout out Zero. Thanks, JB. Been a minute. Much love, much respect. And if you guys want to become a member and you're not already a member, you haven't been blessed enough to be hooked up, then you could, and it helps support the channel. And you could become a member of the Huddle Gang for $2.97 per month. So if you find the show valuable in your life and you could support us that way, we appreciate it tremendously. If you can't swing it, well, show your support by smashing the like, subscribe, retweet, spread the word. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. Congrats, says Kyle. Thanks, JV, says Ghana. Thanks, Zero. He hooked it up for you guys. This is the meaning of HODL. Embrace it. Well said, brother. Anyways, fam, let's move it. We have a lot to cover, so let's discuss a little Bitcoin TA, shall we? Headline reads, Bitcoin bids stack above 60 Gs as hopes of a Bitcoin price rebound build. That's right. Bitcoin traders are demanding the Bitcoin price upside as liquidity sets up fresh battles for the bulls. Bitcoin has liquidated a considerable chunk along this week, clearly, with a snap retracement flushing hundreds of millions of dollars in positions. Now the bulls have yet to redress the balance. However, with Bitcoin stuck at currently 60,000, we are still threatening a fresh breakdown. So that's the current line in the sand, family. The latest order book data shows the bids are currently attempting to get filled just below the spot price. Quoting Keith Allen, the co-founder of Material Indicators, he shares what we want to see ultimately before we get a move that can have a better chance of breaking through this up here is more bid liquidity, something more akin to what we have seen historically. And according to CoinGlass, the largest concentrations of bids, which have appeared in the 24 hours of time from here, sit at 61.2, 62.2, and 62.8. And again, we're already in that 60,000 range. So we're currently below all those bids. Now, trader sentiment is captured by a return to negative funding rates for the first time since October of 2023 in a sea of change from the recent weeks, especially the period around the March all-time highs. Funding is now back to circling bearish sentiment, which the shorts are paying the longs. Quoting Dan Crypto Trades, looking at the funding rate heat map from the past 6 months, you can see how March was generally very overheated compared to the rest. This is normal when the prices are trading near all-time highs, but also a result of the occasional flush of leverage. We just had such a flush. Now, Decent Trader shared funding rates are back positive again, but it was a sign that derivative trading exuberance is calming down, in which they concluded. Now, quoting Invest Answers, breaking Mr. 100 strikes again, just snapped up 500 more biddies in the last 7 days, grabbed a whopping 2,032 Bitcoin. Last month, 8,000 Bitcoin. While others panic, Mr. 100 doubles down. The deeper the dip, the bigger the buy. That's the smart money. Now, there's a lot of speculation right now that Mr. 100 is an undisclosed nation state. According to Max Kaiser, his top contender is, which he just recently mentioned, is Abu Dhabi. Could it be Abu Dhabi, right? In the UAE. Previously, he thought it could have been Qatar. So I want to know your thoughts. Who do you think Mr. 100 is that's gobbling up all these Bitcoin? Do you think it could be Abu Dhabi, Qatar, or could it even be an individual such as a Jeff Bezos who's worth hundreds of billions of dollars? Let me know, because they currently continue to stack like there's no tomorrow. Shout out to Peter. I appreciate you joining the Huddle Gang, supporting the channel. Respect. Now, big news from Max. He wrote, I left Volcano Energy, a company I founded and served as the chairman, to work full-time bringing a major Hollywood studio to El Salvador. A 200-acre site has been identified. We'll be working with Volcano Energy to incorporate a Bitcoin mining component into the project. What should we call El Salvador's movie industry? He asked Salvi would. Now, I'm not a fan of Salvi would. I think Bitcoin Studio or something with Bitcoin in it would be pretty lit. But I want to know your thoughts. I think that's pretty cool. Respect to Max. Now, also, Plan B, creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model, recently tweeted, in my opinion, this Bitcoin halving will be no different. All Bitcoin price increase will again be around the halving. Buying 6 months before the halving and selling 18 months after the halving in the green line will outperform buying and holding. Bitcoin greater than 100,000 this year in 2024, and a Bitcoin top greater than 300,000 per coin in 2025. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that sentiment from Plan B. Also, an update regarding the Hong Kong ETFs. Eric Balchunas wrote, mainland China investors probably won't be eligible to buy the Hong Kong listed spot Bitcoin and Ether ETFs, as they are barred from buying virtual assets. These are some of the other routes they could try, but they less used channels and could get shut down. So good to note. So he's ultimately saying we're not going to anticipate as much volume out of Hong Kong with their ETFs, even though they have officially been approved. And I hear they are going to launch at the end of this month, which is in the next couple of weeks. But the volume is going to be way lower because the people in the mainland are not qualified to invest into it. So there you have it. So Alan Haley wrote Hollywood. Bitcoin on the exchanges way down, the Bitcoin price down, manipulation. Well, there's always manipulation, so I would say yeah. Bill Graper agreed it would be that late. Bitcoin could be used in a wrap from the super encryption. People's money has already been to sats. Mr. 100 is gotta be a country. You would think so. I'm just saying we don't know, so it's all speculation, but I'm leaning towards a country as well. I think probably somewhere in the Middle East. So if I was to guess, I'd double down with what Max shared. That could be Abu Dhabi in the UAE. And yeah, it's crazy. A lot of China usage, even though it was banned, says Lumnia. Holy, as in the savior, not Hollywood. Oh, okay. Thoughts on taking a loan against my Bitcoin to buy more Bitcoin at 16% over 12 months. Margin call under 40,000. Obviously not financial advice. Well, I know from firsthand experience some of the upside and downside with borrowing against your Bitcoin. 16%, in my opinion, is a very high interest rate. But then again, interest rates right now are very high. Will Bitcoin far exceed 16% over the course of the next 12 months? More than likely, but there are no guarantees. You never know. So my feedback is only take a loan if you're able to pay it back, right? Otherwise, you can jeopardize your credit and other things. So you got to make that decision for yourself. But I think a lot of people would take that. You know what I mean? Margin call under 40. So ultimately meaning if Bitcoin dips down to 40,000, which would mean shedding 1/3 of the current price action, you're going to get a margin call to add more collateral. And if you don't, you can lose all your collateral. Now, typically with Bitcoin backed loans, you got to give them double what the current value of Bitcoin is. So hypothetically speaking, if you got $1 million loan, you'd have to give them $2 million worth of Bitcoin as collateral. And that's where the margin calls and all that kind of stuff comes into play, is for them to secure it just in case there was a massive dip. They can liquidate the position to pay for, the loan or whatever. So, I mean, in my opinion, you got to make a decision on your own, but I think we have a lot more upside potential from here leading into the halving versus downside potential, in my humble opinion. What makes Hong Kong not qualified? No, Hong Kong is qualified. I think we're saying that mainland China are not able to invest into the Hong Kong ETF, maybe because different jurisdictions and financial regulations, I would imagine. I arrived a bit late buying Bitcoin now with the dip. I keep on buying to get my money at a price lower. Right on. Sucks because my credit card won't let me buy crypto on Coinbase. Oh no, why not? There's like a hair hanging down from my hat. Or is it my eyelash? I don't know. I see a hair in my peripheral vision. So I'm like looking. Is there like a hair in my hat or something? But anyways, we'll have a big sell the news upon the halving day. Do we expect a dump on Israel's response to Iran? Honestly, it's all speculation. We don't know. Uncertain times. All I do know is over the long haul, Bitcoin will continue to go up in value. Short term, going to be volatility to the upside, downside, everywhere in between. Expect a roller coaster. Yeah, man, for real. Shout out Mo, what it do? Tukas, Bitcoin hits 52. Alt will suck some dirt, and off we go. Pretty much. Got it. What is that? MCAP. Bitcoin will double by math. Right on. If you can't afford to buy something outright, don't buy it, says Bill Hokie. Good advice. However, at the same time, I know how, what's the word I'm looking for? I know how tempting it is to borrow money, especially when you can buy Bitcoin pre-halving. So I totally get it. You know what I mean? Bro, I don't get paid till Friday. I want to buy, right? Can I buy Ether at the current price? Of course you can. You can do anything you choose. I open a long position on Bitcoin. Is it good? I buy 52,000 range. 52,000. Yeah, if you can buy Bitcoin at 52,000, it's fantastic because it's currently trading at 60,000. So I don't know what you mean by that, Star. Bitcoin will hit 20 trillion market cap to hit 1 million per coin. It was way easier to hit $100 back then. The market cap was easier to reach back then. Good point. Please guide me, says Star. Well, you come to the right place. They sometimes try a few Hong Kong banks, but usually one will deposit it. I'm waiting to buy at 40. I think a lot of people would. I mean, how many biddies would like a Mr. 100 or Michael Saylor or, the nation of El Salvador buy if they had that opportunity? I think all of us would be in the same boat. Patience is the name of the game. What's up, JV? Let's go. Shout out Marcos. 20% off discount today, people. Hurry up and buy. Well said. Bought through the crypto winter. I'm sitting nice. Most coming in now will be the exit liquidity. Send it. And welcome everyone joining the stream. Pump the likes to pump the stream as we continue to live the Bitcoin dream. But let's dive into our next story of the day, the latest with Grayscale. The headline reads, Grayscale spot Bitcoin ETF halves before the Bitcoin halving. That's right. Check it. Major Bitcoin investor Grayscale Investments seeing its spot ETF holdings drop 50% of the anticipated Bitcoin halving event. Now, I'm not shocked with a 1.5% interest rate in order to invest into their fund annually. And I think that's why so much of the biddies personally left their stash of almost 620,000 pre-ETF. And now they're all the way down to 310,000-ish Bitcoin on their 66th day of trading, down 50% of the amount since the trading debut, which is wild. So that means the amount is currently worth $19.7 billion. So the GBTC halving came just 2 days before the much anticipated Bitcoin halving, which will reduce the mining reward by 50% from 6.25 Bitcoin to 3.125. So ultimately, there's currently 900 Bitcoin being rewarded to miners per day. That gets chopped in half in 2 days to 450. Can you say supply shock? And occurring once every 4 years, as we know, or once in every 210,000 blocks, the Bitcoin halving is a major event, often tied to subsequent rallies in the market. The two events do not correlate, but make for another coincidence in the chronology of the Bitcoin related occurrences. And here on the chart, you can see the first halving, second halving, third halving, and an estimate for the fourth halving as we continue trending towards $100,000. You can see something in common with each of the three previous halvings is proceeding the halving. We go parabolic, reaching new all-time highs. I expect nothing different for this particular halving cycle. Now, GBTC has been experiencing a massive sell-off since the first day of trading, significantly impacting the BTC price action. The outflows have been largely attributed to the high trading fees, as I referenced earlier, 1.5%. Now, the majority of the Bitcoin ETFs were lowering their fees to increase competitiveness, which we call the game theory, setting trading commissions between 0.2 and 0.4%. Now, you do the math. If you had the ability to invest in an ETF for whatever reason you chose to do so, would you rather pay a 1.5% annual fee or a 0.2% fee? Like, no brainer, right? And I think that's why there's so much ETF outflows leaving GBTC. Now, their biggest rival, BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, which is IBIT, offered only a 0.25% fee at the trading start, not including a 0.12% discount for the first 5 billion of traded assets during that waiver period. BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF attracted a lot of inflows and is currently surging more than 10,000% from just 2,600 Bitcoin on the trading debut to now holding over 272,000 Bitcoin as of April 16th. The BlackRock IBIT is now 13% far from reaching GBTC holdings. So it won't be long before there is a flippening and BlackRock is the largest hodler of Bitcoin. And despite the rapid growth, IBIT failed to absorb the GBTC outflows of 309,000 biddies. However, the 8 other issuers of the spot Bitcoin ETF providers accumulated around 224,000 Bitcoin, excluding GBTC, since the trading launched. So as of yesterday, April 16th, the 10 spot Bitcoin ETFs have collectively held around 862,000 Bitcoin, worth $54.7 billion. Now, what's shocking and mind-boggling to me, it only took them 90 days to acquire roughly 900,000 Bitcoin. Now, for some perspective, it took MicroStrategy 4 years. They were the first publicly traded company to put the biddies on the balance sheet. It took them 4 years to acquire 200,000 Bitcoin. The ETFs just acquired, again, almost 900,000 Bitcoin in 90 days. And I don't think they're slowing down anytime soon. Now check it. Bitcoin's starting to pump. Let's go.
Pump it up if your game and went long. When the dip hit, you just stay like King Kong. More than 5 sats in your stack, then get it on.
60 is the floor. You got that right, Larry.
60 G's, baby!
Good day, JV, team and all. Good day, brother. I think GBTC dumped because they have liabilities with the likes of Genesis. Yeah, they did have to sell a lot as well. That is true. But they are manipulating the market, says Jennifer. Well, we always have that going on as well. Texas says, thank you. Cheers, brother. Shout out C. Allen. Bonk must be a good meme coin because Coinbase listed it pretty early. Yeah, man, on the title, says Richard, you're making fun of the title. Why is that? We see 51 and 52 Bitcoin before we head towards 85. It's possible. It is possible. 60 G's, baby. Blue light special. Bye, bye, bye. That's right. Dave says, let's go. But yeah, we may hold 60, though. There's no guarantee we drop into the 50s, but clearly it can happen. It can happen today. Nobody knows. A little pre-halving dumpage. We'll soon see. Shout out Dave Valentino. Welcome to the stream, family, and everyone just joining the pod. We appreciate you. Let me know where you're tuned in from. Got Floki, ICP, and many others. I am thinking Floki is a mistake. Yeah. And now Floki is just another meme coin, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really know too much about it, but I think it's a meme coin. You look like Deep from The Boys. Oh, word. I don't even know who The Boys are, but I'll take it. XD Tant May. I guess I'm a part of The Boys. Let's go. I wish I had more cash. I bought some biddies yesterday by selling Amazon stock, but now I have nothing left to buy more, says Toasty Toast. Welcome to the club, family. I think a lot of people here can relate. Bonk will melt faces this run. Now, Bonk is the meme coin on the Solana blockchain. Is that accurate? 58,000 bounce, voila. Definitely institutions with a mountain of money can manipulate all the markets. Forex is proof of that. They don't lose and always manipulate things in their favor. No, Floki is good, says James Nelson. Am short on Bitcoin, 62.6. Should I be holding it? I think every human being should be holding Bitcoin. So I may be a little biased, but yeah, 100% you should be holding it. I made $750,000 off Floki with a $14,000 investment. Well done, James. I'm not knocking the hustle. Not knocking it at all. You can get rich in tens of thousands of altcoins in the market, but the reality is most people get wrecked. But your gains are someone else's wreckage. It's player versus player. That's how the markets work. So that means someone collectively lost $736,000 for you to turn it into $750,000. How did President Bukele get the nickname Bukele? It's since he likes feeding Japanese food. Oh, I see. You making jokes, Toasty Toast. Would you think of AMP will do well or only into Bitcoin? I'm not familiar with AMP. Tell me something about it. Hello from North Dakota, new subscriber from Kenya, loving the stream, man. Thank you, Robert, and shout out North Dakota. Price discovery occurs when BlackRock and Fidelity and the whales cost basis is aggregated 100. Look like a sell the news event. It could be. We're soon going to find out. Here's one thing I believe, though. The halving is not priced in. And Kush, welcome to the pod family. Appreciate it. Exactly, HODL. That's right. One of the commandments of Bitcoin, one of the top 10 commandments. Thou shalt HODL. Thou shalt never sell. Thou shalt stack biddies. Thou shalt DCA. What am I missing? Shout out Dave Valentino. Appreciate you subbing to the pod. Floki has a gaming aspect to it. I want to get in, just not right now. Waiting for the markets to bleed more, says Stephanie. Thanks for sharing. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. Agreed, HODL in 60,000 would be great. Anchor and basic attention token, right on. If you like bonk, check out Punk. Currently short in Zen USDT, says XDT. Warren Buffett has 150 billion in cash in Berkshire. Bitcoin is the best place for him to park his cash. Sure is. However, he is an enemy of Bitcoin, so I highly doubt that happening. And if you already had all the fiat in the world and were one of the richest people, would you even care to be in Bitcoin? I mean, we would. We're Bitcoiners. But at the same time, if you were Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, they're probably looking at Bitcoin as the enemy to their monopoly money. You know what I mean? What bottom of Bitcoin can we expect? Great question. I say 60. Will I be right? I don't know. My guess. What do you guys think? So I'm buying the rumor, selling the news. Can't handle it anymore. I'm stressed a lot, says ITA Lee. What do you think of the strategies to amount invested like for the next month, up or down? Keep buying. My personal opinion is you can't go wrong if you stack sats and DCA, because over the long haul, you'll win, just as everyone who has done that before us. Virtually meaning after a 4-year cycle, everyone is in the green. And you can only lose in Bitcoin if you trade at a loss. Or trade with leverage and get wrecked, right? And get liquidated. So if you just buy Bitcoin HODL and dollar cost average over the long term, you'll be in profit. So if you're investing into Bitcoin for a long-term strategy, that's the winning strategy. If you're looking for short-term gains for whatever reason, I mean, there's a million other altcoins you can invest in and try to get lucky with. And obviously it's a form of gambling, but there's a lot of options. Anyways, fam, let's continue with our next story of the day and dive a little deeper into the Bitcoin halving, because this is the biggest event right around the freaking corner. The Bitcoin halving is roughly 2 days away, scheduled for the 19th or the 20th. The 19th would be Friday. The 20th would be Sat Stack and Saturday. I think that'd be pretty lit, pun intended, because it would be on 420, a day you'll never forget. But the price action in the month that follows the highly anticipated event has historically been disappointing, says Bitwise Asset Management. In a new post, Bitwise noted the past price action in the month after the halving for the past 3 halvings saw a price drop, so it could be a sell the news event. But in the year that followed is when the price saw a minimum of triple-digit percentage point gains. So keep that in mind. In the month after the 2012 halving, Bitcoin gained 9%. And then over the next year, it surged 8,800%, which is 88x. A similar pattern played out for the 2016 halving. Bitcoin fell 10% the month after, then gained almost 300% to peak at 20,000 back in 2017. That was, I remember, back in December. And again in 2020, it saw a 6% price gain, very modest, the month post-halving. Then came the 550% pump the following year. So there you go. I mean, do you think history will rhyme? Let me know your thoughts here. Now, the data is limited, but the picture reveals an intriguing pattern. The market prices in the short-term impact of the halving, but underestimates the long-term impact. So short-term, it's saying don't expect much, if anything at all. In fact, we may continue to dump, but it's after that, following the halving, is when we break out, reach new all-time highs, go parabolic, and things get exciting. The current market cycle is the first time that Bitcoin has hit an all-time high before the halving. That's fact. In fact, we recently did that a few weeks ago. It peaked on March 13th, which was last month, at roughly 73,700, which is currently the local high, and since has corrected 16% to roughly 61,000. Industry execs are equally pessimistic for the short term. 10x Research head predicted on April 13th there could be a $5 billion minor sell-off after the halving, putting downwards pressure on the markets. And we also have Marathon CEO Fred Thiel said the halving rally was already factored in, bringing forward what would have been a post-halving rally. Now, quoting analyst Rec Capital, he says there were 5 significant pullbacks ranging from 18 to 23%, and currently markets have corrected 16%, suggesting there could be a further drawdown. Meanwhile, fellow analyst Cold-Blooded Schiller, what a username, noted that 30% corrections were not uncommon, hinting the Bitcoin could potentially fall to around 51,000. So let me know your thoughts off the back of that sentiment. Do you think we're likely to correct immediately, like a sell the news event post-halving here in the next few days? Or do you think we'll do something different? Do you think this time is different? Let me know, considering we did breach the previous all-time high pre-halving for the first time in Bitcoin history, which is a good argument. Another argument is this time, this cycle is driven by the institutional FOMO, clearly, with the inflows of the ETFs, and that did not exist previous cycle. The previous all-time high we hit back in November of 2021, that was driven purely from retail. So it is a different time, a different landscape. So I want to know your thoughts and feedback, and I'll read that out loud. Smash the likes, boys. Tell them anonymous. Keep up the 100. JV, preach. Thank you, Moken. I just wanted to send a big thank you to JV for making content daily. Thank you, Essential. You are always getting those reps in. Very much appreciated. Respect and thank you for the support. Itla Lee, thanks for the sub. JV, I fear we are heading for some turbulence. That's for sure. 100x leverage long at 51,000. Let's go. Dub proof, man. Nipponata indicator. Every episode, you know we're going up. Joe. Shout out Evan. Big play is in this time, so we are good. There you go. Nope. On average, post-halving runs take 6 to 9 weeks to play out, says Greg. First down, then up. Pretty much. At Bitcoin 1 million, a Satoshi will be 1 cent. No. When a Satoshi is 1 penny, Bitcoin will be 1... Wait, no, when Satoshi is $1, Bitcoin will be 100 million. So maybe you're right. Correct? Can someone check that math for Claude Schultz? $1 million Bitcoin would mean a Satoshi is 1 cent. I think that's accurate off the top, but I don't have a calculator to confirm it. The rhyme in the cycle, 10 to 20% pullbacks, 25 to 40% of the past. Good point. Good point, Steven. With the market expecting a drop, I think Bitcoin will pump as shorts are liquidated. Yeah, it's interesting, Tough T, because the market typically reacts the opposite of the consensus. So, for example, if everyone's anticipating a big parabolic pump to new all-time highs and above and beyond here this week, then we'll probably dump and correct more. However, vice versa, if everyone's expecting a crazy panic black swan crash, then the market just rips when everyone least expects it. It's just the nature of the beast. It's like the market maker knows what the people want and is trying to liquidate as much as possible, whether you're long or short. The market maker always wins, if you know what I mean. Kind of like the casino house. Still DCAing at every opportunity. Love to hear it, Joe. Shout out Evan. 100 million Satoshis. Oh, he says correct on the math. So thank you on that. I'm in Toronto, Canada, and our crashing currency helps Bitcoin gains. So what is currently 1 Bitcoin in Canadian dollars? Is it over 100,000? Let me know. We buying in the 50s, or are we holding 60 today? Hopefully 60 holds. We'll soon see. 100 million sats for Bitcoin for Greg. Swipe the cards to buy. COQEU says Menendez. Word. It's up a little for now. What's the second best? Someone asks.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.
I'm not saying I'm number one. one. I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yes, sir. This is the case to sell the news. Like it could very well be. It could very well be. That's what history shows us, crypto conduct. That's exactly what history shows us. So we'll soon find out. They say F around and find out. Well, we effing around. We ready to find out. 2 weeks Hong Kong ETF. That's correct. Hong Kong got the green light on the approval for both the spot Ether and Bitcoin ETF. And the actual launch is in 2 weeks. So we can't wait. What is that? 43 FBTC. Wow. Right on. 83,000 Canadian dollars for a biddy. Wow. Thank you. Is the bottom in? Yes. The bottom was at 15,800 about a year and a half ago. That was the bottom of the cycle for sure. So I just got another 1,000 of the king. Shout out El Primazao SV. Let's get it. That's right. Welcome, Amer. We are heading for the halving, but GBTC is already halved. Exactly. Ironic, eh? 85,000 right now in Canada. So one Bitcoin, 85,000 in Canadian dollars. What about Aussies? Australian dollars is probably 100. I'm going to guess it's over 100,000 right now. I don't know. I know when we hit the all-time high, it surpassed 100. Hong Kong ETF might force the SEC to approve BlackRock's. I know this is no second best, but still interesting. That is interesting, and that's actually a good point. So yeah, 84,000 Canadian dollars for a biddy. Never convince anyone to invest. They won't thank you if they good. They always blame you if it facts. And that's why I repeat a disclaimer every day on the channel. Everything here is for entertainment purposes only. Right? This is not financial advice. And for that same exact reason, if someone buys something based on any type of advice and they lose, they can't look in the mirror and blame themselves. It's easier to just point the finger and say, he told me to buy. Not my fault. And life don't work that way. You got to be responsible for your own decisions. You know what I mean? El Salvador in the house. El Salvador, let's freaking go. 57,000 euros. Word. Y'all think it's crazy Bitcoin will shoot to 120 or over in one sitting and going to take months to a couple of years? Ask Alro. I think it's very realistic. Bitcoin smashed 120,000 this year. Let's find out. I'm ready. Let's go. Anyways, fam, pump the likes, pump the stream. Now let's dive into some six-figure targets, followed by $1 million prediction. Let's break this one down first. Macro guru Lynn Alden says Bitcoin hitting six figures wouldn't be surprising amid this rising liquidity. Let's break down the timeline. And this is a hilarious photo, by the way, or anime. Anyways, he says conditions are favorable for the king to land on a 100,000 price tag or more. In a new block Works macro interview, Alden says Bitcoin is witnessing a supply shock as the majority of long-term Bitcoin hodlers are not yet ready to let go of their stacks at these prices. According to Alden, the constrained Bitcoin supply, coupled with the rise in global liquidity, is proving to be a solid setup for Bitcoin to rally to six figures in the coming months. Quoting her here, for Bitcoin, most indicators that I track point to being fairly mid-cycle in terms of the bull run. I still think the next 18 months look favorable for the asset. Again, it tracks global liquidity pretty well. The on-chain indicators can show us, for example, how much long-term hodlers are selling into the current strength. And because even though Bitcoin supply is constrained, if the price goes up 3 or 5x in a fairly short period of time, you generally, some of those older coins start to come to the market, start meeting that new demand. We have seen some of that, but so far we have seen less of that in this cycle than in the prior cycles. My expectation is there is room to run both from the liquidity side, being fairly constructive. That should help the demand. And I still think there has to be a higher price to unlock some of these older coins to meet that demand. I would be surprised not to see a six-figure Bitcoin over the next 18 months. So there you have it. And I would absolutely agree with that sentiment. I personally would be surprised if Bitcoin didn't smash six figures this year in 2024. But that's just me. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And to watch this video, she did. Check the show notes below the video in the description. And with that being shared, fam, let me know some of your feedback from Lynn Alden's timeline and predictions, and I'll read those out loud. Let's go. Where do we go from here, bro? At what price, and where do you expect to happen on Friday at the halving? I mean, everyone's asked me the same question. JV, what's going to happen on Friday? Even family members, what's going to happen on Friday? So it's just another day in the market. Just because it's the day of the halving doesn't necessarily mean anything crazy has to happen. One thing I know for sure, You know what I mean? Post-halving is when we go crazy, but post-halving just means after the halving, as previous cycles has shown us. 12 to 18 months after the halving, which would mean possibly next year, is when we hit the cycle peak. So I'm not anticipating a cycle peak this year. However, new all-time high, yeah. 6 figures, yeah, all that stuff. But the real fireworks, more than likely, the big leg ups is going to occur in 2025, in my humble opinion. Can I be wrong? Yeah, absolutely. I don't really know anything. This is for entertainment purposes only. Who am I? Some guy with a microphone from the streets. Just saying. Where do we go from here? Is a good question. 125 to 150 by the end of 2024. Hang on to your coins or you ain't in. That's right. Now Bybit official exchanger. I don't know about all that. Where do you go from here? There will be a lot of sellers at 100,000. Maybe. There'll also be a lot of buyers. Agreed. Pizza pate. Make sure to add some pineapples on those pizzas. And a little jalapeno. You know how we get down. If there was a second best, it would have to be stacks. Let's go. Halving plus the ETFs equals supply shock. Boom. A poll. Which first? Bitcoin crash into 40 Gs or rocketing to 106? Personally, I choose the latter. I think we're more likely to hit the 1.23 Fibonacci at 106,000 because I don't see 40,000 happening. Can it happen? Yeah, I don't really know what's going to happen. I'm just speculating, and I don't think 40,000 is going to happen. What do you got to say about that? Now, if you're going to repeat, I'm going to assume that's a spammer, IRHPSICO, just because he's copy pasting the same thing. So that could be a scam. So if you're a mod, you know what I mean, you might have to. Pineapple. I like the pineapple, just saying. Another 1 trillion plus is nada. What do you call the sellers here? Poor. Tell them, Mark. When Stacks changed his colorway to orange, I became extremely bullish. That's what's up, Evan. There is no second best. Tell them, Bitcoin to the moon, baby. Free watermelon. What? Sign me up. If Bitcoin hits 40 Gs, I'm all in. My CK buying 0.029, but right now it is the rate low. It'll go up or not. Please guide me. I don't know what the CKB stands for. My CKB buying. So is that an ish coin? Do you know about Mr. 100? Speculation has it, according to Max, his top contender for who that is Abu Dhabi in the UAE. So it's speculation though. So they haven't came out and announced it yet. Let's go Bitcoin to the moon. But anyways, we started discussing 6-figure Bitcoin. Here's another 6-figure Bitcoin price prediction from none other than Nick Carter. Let's break this down. Castle Island Ventures founding partner and Coinmetrics co-founder Nick Carter predicts Bitcoin hitting 6 figures this year amid the looming debt crisis. In a new Kitco News interview, Carter says despite the recent pullback, Bitcoin undeniably could reach 100,000 in 2024, quoting him here. On the first day of the year, I think Bitcoin was trading in the 30,000 range, maybe 40,000. I forecasted 80,000 at some point this year. We were very close to hitting that just recently. 100,000 would certainly not be out of the question this year. Let me know if you agree. Now, asked if 100,000 remains his price target for this year, here's what he responded with. Oh yeah, undeniably. And as we look forward to the next 2 or 3 years, I am very, very constructive on the price. I think the Bitcoin thesis has been validated. I think it really got that institutional nod of appeal from the SEC with the ETF approval. We are now seeing other jurisdictions approve ETFs. Hong Kong, I think, is a fast follow there. That's right. And to reiterate what I mentioned earlier, they officially got the approval and the official launch is in 2 weeks out of Hong Kong. And there are 3 different providers. Now, Carter also says reasons to be bullish include the Bitcoin network could advance through emerging layer 2 projects, and the King crypto could act as a safe haven for investors amid rising national debts and high inflation, which is precisely what Bitcoin offers. Now, quoting him again, Bitcoin has really set itself apart from the rest of the crypto economy. There are other positive factors like the emergence of new layer 2 networks on Bitcoin, which are very exciting and allow for it to reach maybe technological parity with Ethereum. So the Bitcoin network itself is sort of being upgraded in real time. And then the fundamental here is there is a debt crisis on the horizon for the developed nations. In particular, the United States, I think, will face monetary repression. We will face yield curve control, high and variable inflation, and people will look for safe havens and other asset classes. Bitcoin has now been ratified as an asset class in its own right, with efficient tools to access it for anybody that wants to in the US. So that fundamental trend is unchanged, regardless of short-term eddies related to the halving. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Nick Carter. And to watch the interview he did with Kitco News entitled Bitcoin Halving, Buy Now or Wait, check the show notes below the video in the description. And let me read some of your feedback before we dive into our featured story of the day. Alabaster, let's go, says, I completely agree. That's what's up. Yo, JV, love the so many streams, my man. I'm a fan. Respect. And as we enter price discovery, expect more pump watches. I love the pump watches. You know those 15-hour streams we do? We may have to do an all-day stream on halving day. What do you guys say? We got to catch it live and in the flesh, right? As we approach closer to block 840,000, we can try to lock it down and try to, get it timed on the live stream. That'd be pretty lit. What do you guys say? If we do an all day not pump watch, but it would be a halving watch, really, would you guys be tuned in? Is that something you guys would want to see? Let me know. Maybe something spectacular happens on halving day. You never know. Peter Schiff needs to stop being... Yo, you guys see the meme I posted on X yesterday? Max Kaiser retweeted it, and it's like 6 old men with white hair, and I put Peter Schiff and his homies... Peter Schiff with his homies spotted in Puerto Rico. It's the most hilarious meme ever. I couldn't stop laughing when I saw it, yo. So you guys got to check that out. Retweet it. Spread the love. Chat, what's your prediction for Floki? Good question. Live for the halving? Yes. Let's go. Only 300 or so blocks left. I know. It's crazy, yo. 300 blocks into the halving. I can't believe it. JB, how does alt season work exactly? See the charts of many random alts and they are pumped. I think over the last year we had an alt season because you can look at the gains and now they're all bleeding, losing those gains, and they're flowing back into Bitcoin. So typically what would happen, Bitcoin's going to have a big run up this cycle, and the Bitcoin dominance is probably going to go to 60%, potentially 70%, potentially higher. Nobody knows. But the alts are going to continue to bleed into Bitcoin. And then eventually Bitcoin will calm down and it will all flow back into, not all, but a lot of it will flow back into the alts. And we call that an alt season, when the alts just go crazy. So I think we just had a little alt season earlier this year and last year. And I think now it's time for Bitcoin. All eyes on Bitcoin, because we have the halving. And then after Bitcoin does what it does, we're going to have mini alt seasons along the way, in my opinion. Let me know if you guys agree, disagree. Holla, holla, holla. JB, I didn't know that Kirkland makes coconut water. Investing, Investing the difference from my pricey Vitaco. Yeah, I mean, I scanned the Vitaco, like the other brands, and they didn't pass the Bobby approved app. This one's Bobby approved because it is organic. You can find it at Costco. There's 0 sugar added. We know sugar is poison. We all know that, right? And so the only ingredients, it says coconut water. I'm sorry. The only ingredient is organic coconut water. And I like products that are very simple on the ingredient. When you got a product with 1 or 2 ingredients, it's probably going to be healthy for you. If you have a product with 30, 40, 50 ingredients and you can't pronounce half the terms, I can guarantee you it's poison. Right? So you got to be very selective with what you put into your body. Treat thy body as thy temple. And there's a great app anyone can download. It's called Bobby Approved. It's free. You go to the App Store and you basically scan the barcodes of any item and it'll give you a thumbs up or thumbs down. If you get the thumbs down, it'll tell you why. And when you go shopping, use the app. It'll help out tremendously. It's pretty lit. I just saw the meme you posted on X. It took me a minute to understand what I was looking at. Hilarious. I know, Don, it's hilarious. It looked like they were at like a Corvette convention as well. So they were probably all Corvette owners. And all the old guys with the white hair, they all have like the cut jean shorts. Like they all kind of look like twins. Peter's handing out horrible advice, keeping people poor. Precisely why we're picking on him, Phil. Precisely. It's exactly what he does. He trolls Bitcoin relentless, so we can troll him and have a little fun with it, right? So Peter Schiff actually admitted during a recent interview that he does not hold physical. I know, he doesn't even hold gold. He has foreign gold stocks. So the guy pitches gold. I have a gold bracelet. That's his holdings. So the guy is pitching something you don't even hold. Probably don't even believe in it for all we know, right? He just pitches it. That's his business model. That's how he became a millionaire, apparently, right? So I guess it is what it is. To each their own. The French say poison is healthy for you. To each their own. Kirkland makes vodka, I think, is just as good as the Grey Goose. Word. Recovery. I think Grey Goose is Bobby approved. Let us start a movement. All buy 0.01 Bitcoin and get family and friends to do so. That's exactly what we need to do, Winston Kim. Well said. I feel the Bitcoin ecosystem projects such as Stacks, Ords, and Alex Labs are going to get real good from the Bitcoin running up. And yes, agreed. Schiff got bored with the actual gold. I can't see your X post without a dumb X account. Oh, that sucks. Create the account. Good Bitcoin, 3. What is that? +3. Bitcoin supply is good for 7 years. No scarcity for a while. Grayscale says 300,000 coins to sell if they do. Good point. They still have 300,000 coins. This is true.
There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right?
The point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura.
Take all your...
It's going up forever, C-list. Oh, I gotcha. L.E. Poisson means fish. Good to know. What language is that in? You learn something new every day. But yeah, isn't that hilarious? Peter Schiff doesn't even hold gold. It's pumping. Let's go. We are pumping. There you go. Maybe 60 was that recent bottom here. 61,350, only 1,100 down on the day. Maybe by the end of the stream, we'll be back in the green. Why not? JB, what's the app called again? It's called Bobby Approved. One word, Bobby Approved. You download it. Check it out. Let me know what you think about it. It's pretty cool. French. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't speak French. Good to know. Sold gold coins last year for Bitcoin. Smart move. And we get the buy signal from the NIP. Look at that. Nipsey's giving us the next signal. So there you have it. Looks like we're likely to pump. Nips is pretty bullish right now. My dream is to buy Bitcoin. I hope I can make some with my alts so I can buy one. I hope so too, fam. Doesn't that guy sell gold for Bitcoin on his website? Precisely. I think he does accept Bitcoin for gold. And he is probably a large, maybe Peter Schiff is Mr. 100 for all we know. I'm just like, who knows? I bought at 60,300. Smart. You're up a G already, a G note, fam. Buy the NIP. No, don't buy the NIP. Pet the NIP. Bobby approved. YouTube channel is good. Thank you, Chucky. I haven't checked it out. Don't know why this number, but I'm really hoping for 58,000 before so I can buy a nice chunk. Where's DeLorean when you need it? 88 miles per hour. Hop in the DeLorean like a Marty McFly. Is the app compatible with foreign barcodes? Good question. I'm not familiar because I'm not in the Netherlands, but it's worth a shot. Trust the VIP. There you go. Nip the dip. Hola. Hola, family. I'll be sailing to the Catalina Islands on Saturday. That's what's up. Enjoy your little vacay there, Moonstone. Hopefully you can still tune into the pod. We should hit the halving by 8 p.m. on Friday. JV will be live then at 8 p.m. on Friday. Tune into the halving party. Who's tuning into the halving party? Let me know. We'll make it happen. Try to make it happen for you guys. I think we need a good dip to 52 before we go up again. Nipsey is always right. Damn right. Nipsey is from the future. He channels Satoshi in his dreams, and he's always sleeping. So he communicates more with Satoshi than any other one we know on the planet. So Nipsey keeping it 100. Anyways, fam, now let's dive into our feature story of the day. Bitcoin will reach over $1 million, no doubt, says Animoca founder at the WebSummit Rio, Brazil conference. So let's break this baby down with this prediction. Welcome everyone joining the stream. Pump the likes and pump the stream. Here you go. Yatsu, the founder of Animoca Brands, spoke at WebSummit Rio April 16th on the panel titled Bitcoin's Revenge is Web3 making a comeback. I like that title. Bitcoin's Revenge. I may have to use that one of these thumbnail titles, just saying, here on the tube. But anyways, he said that he has no doubt that Bitcoin will reach $1 million per coin. Quoting him here, I do believe that Bitcoin could reach over $1 million plus over time. But I believe not because it's a store of value, but because it will be one of the most important status symbols of the digital economy in the future. Do you hear that, Bored Yacht 8 Club guys out there who are flexing previous cycle with your Bored 8 Yacht Club NFTs, and now they've dumped whatever, 90, 95%. Bitcoin's the new status symbol. I agree with that sentiment, but I also think obviously it'll hit $1 million due to being the ultimate store value, right? Because what other asset class can you park your capital in that is unconfiscatable? Oh, that's right. There is none. Bitcoin's your only option. I think for that reason alone, we hit $1 million. And also being the greatest store of value to ever exist, let's not forget it has a finite limited supply, unlike gold, which they can continue digging from the earth, if you know what I mean. But anyways, Ambassador Christina Corner moderated the panel, and at which Ripple President Monica Long appeared alongside Sue, and Long emphasized the development of the crypto market is more important than the price of Bitcoin. Quoting her here, I would say the more important place for us all to focus on is real utility for the assets. And that's what's going to drive long-term value and stability and liquidity for all the assets. In crypto, Long praised Brazil and said the country is one of the places where there is a real focus on crypto development. Quoting them here, Brazil is a place where we are seeing breaking ground for that type of development. You have a government that is creating clear rules around virtual assets and a community of focused developers. And you have a traditional finance bank like Itaú that are a blessing to crypto. So that is a mix of a real focus on crypto. Now, Corner focused on the importance of Web3 for giving power to the people, especially those who do not have so many choices in society. Quoting her here, Web3 is about giving power to the people, to those who didn't have access to certain things. Well said. It does empower the people, agreed. As the panel moved on to Web3, Long highlighted that, in contrast to the other markets, there will be more maturity in Web3 companies this year. And equally important, this maturity is reflected in the current institutional adoption. Quoting her again, if you think about it, some of the biggest brands in financial services like Goldman, BlackRock, and Fidelity, they actually build their products and offerings in bear markets, meaning they see the big picture. So I think that's what's going to be very different this year, the institutional embrace. And clearly, that has been a major factor in difference this year thus far. Again, institutions now collectively hold over 900,000 Bitcoin, and it only took them roughly 90 days. Sue stated that financial inclusion and its effects, particularly on blockchain and Web3 games, are more important than the institutional adoption. Quoting them here, we look in places like the Philippines or even in some places in Latin America, millions of the people in the world who don't have a bank, don't have a university education, and in some cases don't even have a high school education, but now though have a crypto wallet. They are included in the new financial system, are becoming somewhat financially literate, taught through gaming, which is another form of play. Good point there. And regarding the spot Bitcoin ETFs, Long said, Ripple is working with the banks and payment companies around the world to use blockchain as a layer for a new infrastructure to make global money much more efficient. She noticed a greater interest in the crypto market from banks and has been wondering how to ensure regulated exposure to the market. Quoting her here, as here in Brazil, there's certainly a much stronger liftoff like Hong Kong, and that's another key market. I think one of the interesting things is that we are not done yet with the ETFs. Broadly speaking, meaning Bitcoin ETF is going to emerge in other markets. Now in Hong Kong, then there's Singapore, then there is Tokyo, there is London, there is Europe, and makes a great point. Let's freaking go, if you know what I mean. So there you have it. Let me know your thoughts on this 1 million Bitcoin price prediction. And shout out Francisco. I greatly appreciate you subscribing to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. I also want to know, by what year do you think Bitcoin realistically taps that 7-figure milestone? Do you think that can happen this year in 2024, as some analysts such as Samson Mao of Jan 3 has been predicting? Do you think it may be this cycle peak, potentially if not this year, the next year, 2025? Or do you think it'll be the next cycle, maybe 2028, 2029, 2030? Holla at your boy and let me know. Personally, I think a 1 million Bitcoin price is most realistically going to happen following cycle, meaning not from 2024 to 2028, but I think between 2028 in 2030. However, I'm still open to the possibility of it happening a lot sooner because I know Bitcoin has no top because fiat currency has no bottom. So hypothetically speaking, what if the US dollar were to hyperinflate over the course of the next couple of years, the cycle? Well, in that scenario, I could absolutely see hyper Bitcoinization, Bitcoin going crazy parabolic sooner than expected. However, if the dollar maintains its dominance as the primary currency of the world and doesn't hyperinflate into infinity, then of course I think it's going to take a little longer. That is a big factor, right? Realistically speaking, hyperinflation can cause Bitcoin to go to $1 billion per coin. That's the synopsis of Jurrien Timmer's prediction, which we have shared here on the show a few times. Jurrien Timmer is the head of macro over at Fidelity, the $4.5 trillion asset manager. And they predicted ultimately, or Jurrien specifically, the head of macro over there, he said Bitcoin will hit $1 billion per coin by 2038. He ultimately saw Bitcoin go into like $1 million by 2030, and then the dollar hyperinflating, and then the value of the US dollar just skyrocket, or not the dollar, but the value of Bitcoin skyrocketing because the dollar losing all of its value. So I want to know your thoughts on that. As well. I am obviously very optimistic this halving. I truly believe we're going to have a multiple six-figure Bitcoin price. And I know this halving is, we're only at 61,000. We're still below. We're still discounted from the previous halving all-time high, which we again saw back, I think it was November 10th of 2021 when we eclipsed roughly 69,000. Bitcoin is pumping right now, this moment. Pump it up, pump the likes, pump the stream. And you already know, 2 days until Bitcoin halving 2024. Exciting times. Obviously, a lot of bullish catalysts in the market. I shared yesterday, we're likely to see a supply shock sometime this year, according to the top analytic platforms. We have a very limited amount of Bitcoin on the exchanges even available at this time. Currently 1.8 million-ish in that ballpark. We've already witnessed a demand shock off the back of the ETFs. Shout out MPC3G. Appreciate the subscription. And so with the demand shock, we already had, means mass demand in the market. We're also going to have a supply shock. Let's not forget, after the halving, the issuance of the Bitcoin gets cut in half to the miners. We're going to go from 900 Bitcoins being rewarded to the miners per day down to 450. More institutional demand. We already have, again, 900,000 Bitcoins being held by the U.S. institutions out of the 11 which were initially approved and released on January 11th. Now we're going to have the Hong Kong already has 3 issuers. We're going to have the spot not only for Bitcoin, but also Ether, which is the first of its kind. Also, the Bitcoin ETF out of Hong Kong will be the first of its kind because it's not the cash model, but you could actually purchase the ETF with Bitcoin, which makes it different. Then we have all the adoption, which will likely come out of all the other countries, which were mentioned, Malaysia, Singapore. Then you have El Salvador, a lot going on there. Then you have the nation state adoption. Then you have the nation secretly purchasing Bitcoin behind the scenes, potentially Qatar, Abu Dhabi, the UAE, maybe Iran, other countries in the Middle East. Yesterday, I shared a story of Iran could be mining some Bitcoin. We've shared stories of, Russia and the BRICS doing big things, getting into digital assets. I've shared stories of the largest oil company in the world out of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, recently partnering with the largest bank in Japan, SBI Holdings, to get into digital assets. We've also discussed Russia opening up a mining hub in Ethiopia. There's just so much bullishness, and there's so limited Bitcoin. You can never print more of it, right? There's so many I think there's 2,500 billionaires on planet Earth. Many of these people are smart. That's the smart money. We would consider these people the whales of society, and they understand Bitcoin at this point. Everyone affluent must understand the value proposition of Bitcoin. The only ones not adopting it are the ones who view it maybe as an enemy. And even the enemies of Bitcoin are stacking. For example, Vanguard. They openly say that Bitcoin, we don't believe in its ethics, like ultimately saying it's a Ponzi, we don't believe in it. But yet at the same time, Vanguard has so much indirect exposure to Bitcoin because it's one of the largest asset managers in the world alongside BlackRock. In fact, this is fact. You can look it up. Vanguard, the Bitcoin hater themselves, they're the largest shareholder of MicroStrategy, the first publicly traded company to put Bitcoin on the balance sheet. They're the number 1 shareholder. The number 2 shareholder is BlackRock. So they all have direct or indirect exposure. I think all nations eventually will have direct or indirect exposure, and the price is going to go crazy. It has to. When you have a limited supply and massive demand, numbers go up. Hence, we coin Bitcoin, number go up. Technology, right? And Bitcoin has no top because fiat has no bottom, and there is a guarantee I can make. Though I can't guarantee a specific price prediction by a particular date, I can literally guarantee you that the purchasing power of the dollar is mathematically guaranteed to decrease as they continue to print money. And we know they're going to continue to print money because we know they're in a $35 trillion deficit. So it's the only option. Now, on the back of that, the other side of that coin, pun intended, is Bitcoin is mathematically guaranteed to increase its purchasing power, just as it has been doing flawlessly over the past 15 years. For example, there was a time it would have cost thousands of Bitcoin to buy your dream house, or for example, your average house. Now, for a couple of Bitcoin, you can purchase a house, right? $120,000 house. Boom. There will be a time for 0.2 Bitcoin, you can purchase, $120,000 house. And there will be a time where you can purchase $1 million house for, 0.2 Bitcoin. And then eventually 0.1 Bitcoin, meaning the purchasing power is going to continue. And if you look at the charts on that, you look at the chart of Bitcoin versus the dollar since the inception of Bitcoin, that's the tail of the tape. That's all we need to know, right? So TA is great. We cover it every episode. It's entertaining. It's fun checking out the price action, where it's going to go next. But the bigger picture, supply, demand, stock to flow, limited supply, massive demand, incorruptible money, perfect money, pristine collateral, not only incorruptible, but also unconfiscatable. These are properties no other asset class have, which separate it from everything else. Also, it's the future. Is digital. Digital is the future. There's too many drawdowns and negatives to holding gold. Even the largest gold bug advocate in the world, Peter Schiff, don't even hold gold. So he doesn't even practice what he preaches. That'd be like somebody preaching. That'd be like Michael Saylor telling you to buy Bitcoin and not owning. Michael Saylor not owning any. That would be considered a hypocrite, would it not? Here's one thing I know as well. According to Michael Saylor, at least, and I have a lot of respect for the guy, of course. He's a smart man, and that's why we call him the Giga Chad. But he says, those who save in fiat currency, we have a name for those folks. What do we call them?
But most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
Let me know if you agree with this sentiment.
People that use fiat.
What do we call them, folks? Bitwood Studios? I kind of like that one. It sounds cool. Bitwood Studios. I dig it.
Currency as a store of value.
Yep. Drop it in the chat. What do we call them, folks?
We call them core. We call them core. People that use fiat currency
as a store of value, we call them, you already know. Shout out Real Boss Man. Shout out Will Mike. Data Bita. What it do? Good to see you guys. OLGQ. What are you drinking? A little cocoa water. I can't get it fresh from the coconut where I'm at. Next best thing. Obviously, I'd prefer the fresh cocoa like I used to get in Costa Rica. I'd walk to the guy, chop it with a machete, put the straw in, and get a big coconut. Hydrate the body. Bitwood Studios. Yeah, I just say Bitcoin Studios. That's my suggestion to Max. I put Bitcoin Studio. First thing that came to my mind. Bitcoin Studios or Bitcoin Studio, whatever. I orange pilled my 77-year-old father. He got into Bitcoin in 19 G's, baby. I bet you he's loving you right now. Fiat, a small Italian car. That is true. I've been to Italy, and there's a lot of Fiats on the road. Juan, that's right. Golden Bee Studios. There you go. You got to let Max know what would you want the name of that Hollywood studio to be. Now, how cool would this be? Because but he's going to do it. I know anything Max wants to do, he does. But a film studio in El Salvador would be so lit because we wouldn't have all the propaganda that we see in Hollywood. Hollywood films are all scripted, and 3-letter organizations have to add things to the script. They're forced to, right? They're all spreading propaganda through the films, of course. So if we actually had a real film studio out of El Salvador that didn't have to do the propaganda because they're a free country, they're not controlled, that'd be pretty cool. That means the movie industry is going to get exciting. Maybe I'll start watching movies again. I don't know the last time I've watched a movie, just sat down and watched a movie. Maybe when I took my daughter to the movie theater. Yeah, I mean, that was the last time. I think we saw Super Mario Brothers. It was actually a good movie. But nonetheless, being able to watch a movie without propaganda, sign me up. I may watch one of those movies. You know what I mean? I'm not a movie guy. Anyways, Volcano Studios, that's actually lit. Bitcoin Volcano Studios. You got to throw the word Bitcoin in there, in my opinion. In my opinion. I am sold. I am done. I sold. Bitcoin is good. You zero. Sucks for you. Come on, MicroStrategy, go green. Hollywood is dying. Movies and TV suck. Exactly. They just remake the same movie 10,000 times. Pretty much. Whales do not need Noah's Ark. They can swim. Most people need a Bitcoin Ark. Tell them. Schiff has been talking up during this very finite period where he can say, hey, Bitcoin's going down. It's entertaining. Yeah, that's why we got to bully the bully. Bully him. My last movie watched in the theater was a joke. Didn't go since. A word. Ring of Fire Studios. Let's freaking go Japan. Bitcano. That's pretty cool. Throw the word Bitcoin in there. How about, I'm just thinking out loud. I like Orange Pill Studios. If we're going to use the moniker studio, Orange Pill, Bitcoin, or something that has the meaning of Bitcoin, but maybe a slang term. Stack and Sats Studios. DCA Bitcoin. I think it obviously, if you use the word Bitcoin in the name, it's going to create more awareness of Bitcoin and just give it more publicity and attention. So that's why I personally think it should have the name Bitcoin in it for the film studio. But I'm open to ideas. Bitcano. All of these fools need to zoom out and look at the performance in the last year, the last decade. Amen. Amen. A year and a half ago, biddies were 15,000, 16,000. A year and a half ago, right? Bottom of the market. Started from the bottom, now we here. You know what I mean? We getting a bounce. Come on, bounce. JV in the back in the house. Yeah, man. I mean, we tend to pump when I go live, and you got to love it. When a movie is too woke, I just lose all. Exactly. Did anybody remember to throw? I mean, if a TRANSGENDER has to be like the main star or be involved, it's like, come on now, guys. It's a little too far. Is the next Star Wars hero going to be one of those people? Is that what we're dealing with? What happened to the days of the old Luke Skywalker? I mean, come on. Can a man get a W being masculine anymore? Can we have masculine heroes in society? Or is that forbidden? Is it allowed? Is what I'm asking. You know what I mean? Time Chain Enterprise. That's actually hot. Time Chain Enterprise. Time Chain Studios. I like Time Chain. BitStacks Studio. Right on. Cheers, Jennifer. Appreciate your support. You're the best. Indeed they do. Netflix washing my family's brain precisely. I'm not a fan of Netflix. I don't watch it. The only thing I'll be watching on it is probably that Tyson Jake Paul fight. So I'm a fan of the combat sports, of course. I'll also be watching Garcia and Haney here on the 420. We'll see. You know what I mean? Thank you, Mike. This is true. But anyways, here's what we're going to do. We're going to continue with the uncensored version of the pod as we continue this pump exclusively on Rumble. So how this is going to work, if you're new, the YouTube stream is about to finish, but we will continue the stream exclusively on Rumble. We do this every day. If you don't know, now you know. Shout out to the Rumble fam. So head on over to Rumble right now. The Rumble link is always in the description. It's rumble.cryptonewsalerts.net, or simply just open the Rumble app, type in Crypto News Alerts. You can't miss it. Bitcoin Movie Labs, I like that name as well. Again, I think Bitcoin should be in the name, bring more awareness, right? What's a playoff of making fun of Netflix? Bitcoin Flicks. There you go. How about Bitcoin Flicks? Or Bitcoin Chicks? For the broskies, of course. Yeah, get your Rumble seat and let's get ready to Rumble, fam. You already know. Head on over to Rumble. The stream is about to finish on the tube. We appreciate it and looking forward to seeing you here in a few moments over on Rumble. Deuces, fam. I'll be back on the tube at 10 p.m. Eastern for the premiere. Head on over to Rumble. Peace.